Yo, we're not stopping today. Yo, my internet died, but we didn't. You know what I'm saying? We're doing an early Afterthoughts this week. Normally, I'm doing another one Sunday. I don't care. For this chapter? For this chapter? Oh, no. Yo, let me make sure that this thing went out and that we're good. Let me see. We got to talk about this chapter. We got to talk about this chapter, man. Like, I don't care what my internet has to say about it. We're talking about this chapter. We're back. Yo, we're back. We have returned. Hazy. Yo, my people. What's good? As a matter of fact, let me link something in here real quick. Thank y'all so much for coming back. I truly appreciate y'all. Yo, my internet got destroyed, man. But you know what? Internet can't stop me today. Not today. Not after that chapter. That was legit. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, bro. What can I say? What can anyone say? I was like, I can't. So, because of that, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going, man. We're gonna keep going. So, let me go ahead and put this over here. So, holy flag nerds. Okay, so for anyone that, let me see. Alright, regardless, I'm trying to find a way to link the reaction in here, but we'll handle it after this, man. We'll handle it after this. So, if you want to watch the reaction, it's on a separate video. I don't know why my internet went out. My internet couldn't handle the hype. My internet could not handle what was, without question, the craziest chapter in all of One Piece. So, goodness gracious, man. Let's go. Let's go. And if my internet gives out again, they can see me in hands. Because this is crazy, bro. This is crazy. So let's talk. Let's talk. Let's do this. Let me... You know what? Yeah, hey, thank you, Hazy. Hey, shout out to my dog, Hazy. Here, let me grab my pillow. We're going to sit down and we're going to talk about this chapter. We're talking about this chapter. We need that Conqueror's coding Ethernet cables. Yo, lazy mofos, you spitting. You spitting. You're spitting. Alright, let's see. But I'm so happy that... I truly appreciate y'all coming back, man. Thank you. Let me see. So glad you avoided the spoilers. Yo, Spicy, it's thanks to you, man. It's thanks to you and everybody who reached out that I didn't get spoiled, because if I would have gotten spoiled on this, this would have really sucked, man. Are there any of the other YouTubers that got spoiled? I hope nobody got spoiled in this chapter, man. I hope everybody got... Like, people reached out to the right people and then nobody got spoiled, because this is an all-timer. This is an all-timer. You know what I'm saying? Like chapters like these, they don't grow on trees. This is an all-timer, legendary chapter. So I really hope that everybody was good. Nash Schneider, the drums, facts. O'Hara said there was a heartbeat that wasn't translated. Interesting. So you think we might see that in the... Wait. Can y'all confirm that? That there wasn't a heartbeat that wasn't translated in this chapter? The drums of the overtaken OST in the anime. Facts. I saw the Bink Sake lyrics linked to the Wano events. Really, Adrian? The Bink Sake links to Wano events. That's insane. That's insane. That's insane. Yo, which, like... I'm gonna have to look at the lyrics again and see if... because you're probably spitting. Yo, Chris, this ending has me thinking of the scene of Alan getting stabbed with a sword in 14th... Yo! Shout out to D. Gray, man. Potentially, man. No, you're absolutely right. Like, that's the vibes. Like, Nika being kind of like how the 14th was within Alan. Goodness. Yo, Pluto, my dog. One Piece was pretty good this week. It really was. One Piece was crazy good this week, man. Crazy. King the Spoils was out on Tuesday. What's crazy on Twitter? However, no, trust me. I was told, I think it was on Sunday. I was told really, really early on in the week, like, yo, get out. Get out. And I was like, yo, bet. So I spent the rest of the week just... I wanted to upload some videos because I want to talk about last chapter a lot. This chapter, oh. This chapter! Yo, I don't even know what I'm going to do, man. I don't know what I'm going to do for this chapter. I honestly don't. I don't know. And now that the One Piece anime is on break, like, indefinitely, I have no idea what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to survive. I don't know if I'm going to survive, man. So... yeah, man. I'm so glad. I'm so glad, dude. I didn't see any YouTubers getting spoiled, but lots of people did, unfortunately. That really sucks, man. And I could, like, just based on this chapter, like, this chapter is so legendary. And people are going to get spoiled by the Joy Boy thing. Like, they're going to see I just saw it trending on Twitter when I went on. Like, man. Like, it really, really sucks if people get spoiled in this chapter, bro. But it's like, man, I feel so sorry. If you are here and you got spoiled in the chapter, I from the bottom of my heart, because God, what an experience this was. This chapter was a roller coaster, man. From Luffy potentially dying, the Oda box stating Kaido is the victor. And then we cut down, we see the CP0 member going. We see another CP0 member here. And then on top of that we go. Continue on to the chapter. Yamato gets an amazing moment. Law and Kid. Law looking out for his captain, because we know Luffy's his captain. Big Willie Law was like, yo, Luffy's big cap. You know, that's my cap. I hope he's good. So then that, I was like, yo, we're leading into the immortality stuff here. We're going into the Opi Opi no Mi's operation. And Oda was just like, choot, choot, choot. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. We're going straight up Jaya Baya, Joy Boy with the drums. And Zunisha calls it out, man. Like, this chapter, and the thing is, because the chapter started off with Momonosuke losing the voice, it ending on Zunisha hearing Joy Boy's voice was the best possible way it could have ended. The best possible way it could have ended. Because it just brings... It keeps everything tied in so well thematically. And we have been wondering why the voice of all things was consistently being brought up within these chapters. And so to see it done like this, to see this is how we bring the Joy Boy into the thing. Because now, just in case if you're watching this and you did not watch the other stream, well, first and foremost, we had an Afterthoughts Part 1 over there. A lot of really, really interesting stuff on the other one. So if you're watching this video, whether it be here live on stream or later on whenever it goes up, if you're watching this, there's some really good stuff that we talked about in the other thing. But basically, out of all the different scenarios that were brought up, this is what's going to hold us over for 2 weeks. The main topic of a discussion, I can already tell that it's going to be two things. Number one, where is this forming? Is it the hat? Is it his hair? Is it the fruit? What is it? Where is it coming from? How is it forming? And then the different scenarios that can happen if it's one of those things, right? If it is the hat, if it is the hair, if it is the fruit, if it's Luffy himself, whatever it is, the possibilities that come from it being each of those individual things. And then the other thing being, bro... is it Joy Boy or is it Luffy? You know what I'm saying? Because I've been saying the entire time, and I'm glad somebody brought this up in the reaction because it's a great point about Luffy and freedom and whatnot, about him never letting anyone take him over, and he would never allow such a thing. And so it's like, if this is Joy Boy, that would be ultimate hype times 40. God, bro, this movie is for some super peak fiction, man. This is peak fiction. We got super peak fiction next time we come back, but. Regardless, it's going to be peak, because if this is Joy Boy, we're going to get to have a legend in our presence, the lurking legend within our presence. This is the lurking legend. This is the individual who's been built up the entirety of the time skip. The most important character in the series outside of Luffy and outside of Roger, and that lineage, right, of legendary individuals, kings throughout the verse. And it's like, if it truly is Joy Boy, the scenarios that's gonna come from that is insane. But it's like, if this is Luffy awakening something and it's similar to that of being Joy Boy, then that by itself also brings up very interesting scenarios. Because if Instant Messenger Sama is from the Void Century, then even if no one ever relays this to him, if Zunisha heard that voice, if Instant Messenger Sama's observation haki or his voice is that strong, he's going to hear this too. And so just imagine a scenario where we cut back. You know how we were talking about the Act 3 potentially ending. This is way bigger than the Act ending. But let's just say when we cut back to Instant Messenger Sama and or potentially Dragon, they have a conversation between Dragon and Im Sama. And they're speaking, they're talking, whatever. And Im Sama's like, yo, you feel it too, don't you? Your scar, it throbs. Because we know, at this point, I can almost guarantee the fact that Dragon created that tattoo, got that tattoo from the Void Century. From Nika, specifically Nika. I can almost promise that right now. The Drums of Liberation, all that stuff that connects directly to the Revolutionary Army's purposes. And so with that being said, if Instant Messenger Sama and Dragon have a conversation, and he brings that up, of like, you feel it too, your son has awoken. Your son has awoken, and the other side is here. Like, you hear the Drums of Liberation that, from all the way back then. And, you know, that becomes even more complicated if it's the hat that's doing it, because then it's the giant straw hat as well. Then that would show why Instant Messenger Sama went in chapter 906 to look at the hat. But the thing is, we don't know yet whether it's the hat, whether it's Luffy, the fruit, whatever, right? So it's like, goodness gracious. Yo, Hazy coming in with a $7.99. Shout out to my dog. Luffy dying would mean the paper, the Grand Fleet. Oh my god. The Grand Fleet! Yo, shout out to my dog Laz, man. Yo, Laz, how are your ankles, dude? How is your ACL, bro? Yo, I forgot about the Grand Fleet! Oh. Yo, if Luffy died, that's facts. The Viver card is specifically going to be like, yo, your dog just died. Your boy just died. Get on over there and save him. Which would mean this is how the Grand Fleet comes back into the picture. This is the huge moment, the huge inciting incident that they were talking about. Oh my, dude, this is nuts. Yo, I'm getting my mind blown in every angle, man. This is crazy. I love that theory, though, Hazy, man. I really, really do. Thank you for blowing my mind once again. Thank you for that, yo. This is nuts. Another week of the Go with the Code greatness, yo. Not Elon Musk. This week's chapter was peak fiction, man. I don't know, man. This man last said his his yells in orbit, dog. I don't even... Yo, Laz, we gotta get together, man. Yo, I don't care if it's on your channel. I don't care if it's on my channel. I'll even learn. I'll learn Discord, bro. I'll learn every single thing. We gotta talk, man. We gotta talk on stream. We'll get all the boys. I don't care, bro. Yo, we gotta talk about this chapter. This is insane. This is insane, bro. Like, especially since now we're gonna be on this massive break. We gotta get the squad together. We gotta go live next week. Maybe even on Sunday. Maybe even on Sunday after the Viz things drops. If everyone's down, whenever you guys are down, yo, we're gathering the troops. We'll have a mini reverie. I don't care, bro. Let's have this conversation. Let's have a mini reverie, bro. Yo, I'll hit up Brago, man. I don't care. I'll talk to J Dog. We'll do this. This chapter constitutes a reverie. Does this chapter constitute a reverie? Yo, chat. Does this chapter constitute a miniature reverie? I don't care, bro. I don't care whose channel it's on. I don't care whose channel it's on, bro. I don't care who channel. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm in there. I'm in there, man. This is an emergency. This is an emergency, dog. I don't care who I gotta talk to. This is nuts. This is crazy. If Grand Fleet pulls up, Blackbeard shows up. Don't even drive me, dog. If this is what Blackbeard was talking about, if he already foresaw this. Andrea Cookies comes in with a $4.99. Shout out to you, dog. I'm in Italy. It's 6:30 in the morning. 6:30 in the morning. And while I'm working, I listen to the GOAT. What a chapter fire. Yo. Thank you so much for dropping by and showing love. I truly appreciate you. Working that early, I'm right there with you, man. You know, it's crazy whenever we all have to like wake up super early for work. But yo, I truly appreciate you for even while you're working at 6:30 in the morning, still dropping by and showing love. Truly appreciate you, dog. Truly, truly appreciate it. Thank you so much, Andrea. Thank you so much. I love her profile picture, by the way. Is that Ace and Luffy? I can't see. My eyes are so bad. Is that Ace and Luffy? That's a really, really good profile picture. This chapter marks the change of an era. From now on, it's pre-Joy Boy and post. That's true. If this is truly Joy Boy, then that's true. I'm there, bro. Yo, let's get it, man. Lads, let's get it, bro. Emergency Reverie. Yo, so everybody's... Let's go. Let's go. I'm telling you, this is insane. This is insane. This is insane. We need... Yo, lads, like, we gotta press the button, bro. Yo, facts. Dan Goku is spitting facts. We have to talk about a certain pirate. We have to talk about a certain pirate, bro. So, lads, this is what we're gonna do. And everyone here in chat, I'm gonna wait until everybody, of course, read this chapter. And then, shoot, man. Sunday, I mean, of course, it's going to be so close. So either Sunday or Monday, you and me and whoever else wants to come on board, we're talking about this chapter. I don't care. But I want to wait until the Viz so we can compare and have the two, right? So we can have the TCB and we can have the Viz, and we can look at the entire picture, because I always love having the picture from both to before going super in depth on certain things. Even though this one is so blatantly there that it's like nothing much is gonna change at this point. I mean, that's just as clear as day. You feel me? It's not like, you know, the difference between the picture quality is not gonna change. So it's like we're not going to be able to tell exactly what's there. But in regards to what was said, it's like, what more can change from what was said in this chapter? You know, it's like, this was clear as day. So, I don't know. But I still want to wait until Sunday just for the official readers. I really want, you know, there's a lot of people who watch the channel, of course. And I'm sure your channel, the other YouTubers, who wait for the official. So I want to wait because I want to have all of us involved for that one. But man, we got to talk about this chapter, bro. This is truly crazy, man. This is truly crazy, yo. Luffy versus Blackbeard, light versus darkness. At this point, that's facts. It's hard facts. What a great chapter. Loved how Oda managed Bowler Hat CP0, dude. Yo, me too. Me too. Oh, Noel coming in. That's facts. I remember... how many chapters ago was it? I think it was when the initial reveal happened in 1037 with Zunisha. And the Gorosei had everyone in the room talking about the fruit that changed names throughout the annals of history. And somebody brought up the Hanuman. The Hanuman, which is, of course, in Hindu mythology. So, goodness gracious, bro. Because I remember when I first read that, the theory was so amazing. Like, it is, I mean, I gotta give I wish I had it on my computer so that I could give a shout out. Because the person who wrote the Hanuman theory had like a really, really well thought out thing where I was like, wow, like this is actually really good. So if next chapter we see that through Nika, that's gonna be, shout out to that person. Shout out to that person. Oh my goodness, Siraj, don't kill me. Siraj, don't kill me. Okay, so Adrian just sent me the thing for Bank Sake. So here we see Bank Sake flying the prosco on our flags and our sails. Now comes a storm through the far off sky. Now the waves are dancing. Beat upon the drums. If you lose your nerve, this breath could be your last. But if you just hold on, the morning sun will rise. That's literally Wano! That's literally what we're living right now, bro! Oh. What an angel. Dude, listen to this again, yo. The Bank Sake. Right here. Now comes a storm through the far off sky. Now the waves are dancing. Beat upon the drums. If you lose your nerve, this breath could be your last. This chapter. But if you just hold on, the morning sun will rise. The dawn. What in the flying flagnards? Doug. Oh no! I'm losing my voice. I'm losing my voice, bro. I'm losing my voice, bro. I'm losing my voice, man. Yo, the Kings hockey from that thing. Yo, Adrian, thank you so much for sending me that, bro. Holy flagnards. Yo, Martin Louis, this chapter will change everything. It already has changed everything. You know how we YouTubers, we always use those titles. This changes everything. This chapter flipping changes everything. Alright? This chapter changes everything. And every YouTuber from Flagnard to Flagnard, we all better use that title this week. I better see that title in everybody's videos. This week's chapter literally changes everything. It does. It does. It does, bro. Like, I don't know, Yo, that Bing Sake thing messed me up, bro. That Bing Sake thing messed me up, man. Holy flagnards. Yo, shout out to my dog Pluto. Pluto says, make sure to like the stream. Definitely. Like the stream, please. I would truly appreciate it. I can't stop listening to Ain't No Grave Drums on Point. Yo, the drums. It's the drums of the beating heart, man. The drums of the beating heart. Recon, Laz, Brago, and Rogers Base from Mount Rushmore of One Piece reactors. Yo, I'm honored to be in there with such legends. Shout out to Laz, Brago, and Rogers Base for being goats. It's a good Mount Rushmore right there, man. It's a good Mount Rushmore. There's some legends right there. Luffy a latex man? Not the latex. I don't know how the series was written by a human being, Les. I don't know, man. Like I was saying this last week that the fact that I never would have imagined, right? And I've loved stories from my moment I came out the womb. I already knew what I wanted to do, man. Like I knew this is what I wanted to do. And I was a little afraid of it. I really was. I was like, I might have to take another career path. None of this is really confirmed. A lot of stuff happened. But then whenever I got into this series, I was like, you know what? This is really what I want to do. And to this day, I go back and reread chapters from this series. And there's chapters like this, chapters like last week. I'm like, yo, I can't believe this series exists. Like, this is what is possible with paper. When pen and paper come together, stuff like this is possible, man. This is the potential. You remember what Netero said in Hunter x Hunter? Humanity's infinite potential for evolution. This is what humanity's capable of with pen and paper. This is what humanity is capable of with pen and paper, dog. I don't understand, man. Yo. This chapter, real deal, changes everything. Murphy's up there. Yo, shout out to Murphy. I know Murphy's definitely one of my favorites. I love listening to Murphy. There's just so much incredible talent in the community. Like, so many incredible creators, some that have been around for as long as like Sawyer and King of Lightning, to individuals that just maybe have started today. Maybe today is somebody's first YouTube video. And it's like the amount of talent that we have in this community, regardless of whatever that talent may be, is out of this world, man. It's really a blessing and an honor to be a part of this amazing community. There's a lot of incredible people. And what I love so much about Murphy, and why I connect to Murphy personally, is that Murphy and I came into One Piece in a very similar way. Or even though I had, of course, more anime experience at the time because I watched Dragon Ball, all that stuff, but I was mainly into other pieces of video games, books, all that stuff. Like, I was always really into all that, and I, of course, anime, manga was always like right there too. But One Piece is really what set that thing to the next level, to where it's like my whole appreciation of the medium just skyrocketed after, you know what I mean? And like then I started treating anime and manga in the same way I treat everything else. And like in that similar way, whenever I hear Murphy talking about certain things when it comes to One Piece, like I connect with her in that level, because I also came into it with that same type of mentality and whatnot. Yo, Bar M coming in with a 10. Truly appreciate you. Random side note, shout out to Murphy, and what other great way to catch up and be weekly. Seriously, y'all, could you imagine catching up? That's a great point, because Murphy just recently caught up. Can you imagine catching up and this is the chapter you catch up on? You catch up on last week's incredible insanity, and then a chapter that Trump. You remember last week when we were like, there's no way. Like, the only way we trump last week's chapter is with Gear 5th, Awakening, or Act 3. And Oda said, what? He hit us with the crossover! He hit us with the crossover and was like, you think you're getting what? Joy Boy. Joy Boy! Nika! I don't know, man. Peak fiction, bro. Holy flag. No, it's Final Destiny. This was peak fiction, man. This was peak fiction. This was peak fiction. Yo, Nile. Goat man Nile. Thank you so much for being one of the individuals that told me to keep it tight and get out of there. Because it's thanks to individuals like you that I was not spoiled, bro. Thank you so much for looking out for your boy, man. I truly appreciate you. But thank you so much for that, Bar M. Yeah, me too. I can't wait to see Murphy's next video as well. It's crazy. Crazy. Born in the right timeline to experience peak fiction, feeling blessed. Yo, can I pin Nash Schneider's comment? Yeah, I'm gonna take a picture. I'm gonna take a screenshot of Nash Schneider's comment. Look, hold on, give me a second. Can I do this? Is this allowed? Hold on. This is my tagline for this week's Afterthoughts, without question. Let me see if it lets me. I'm putting it. Hold on. Can I do it? This is my tagline this week. Hopefully it shows up in the thumbnail too. That'd be dope. Okay. Oh, come on. Load. We were literally there for one of the biggest reveals of the entire series. Everybody reading this, yo, Kev D.O.G. spitting facts. People, we were here. This is this is now joined the Laugh Tale chapter, the Reverie chapters, the Sabo reveal, so many incredible chapters that I've been a part of post time skip of Sweet Mother of Flagnards. We were here. We were here. So I'm going to put Nash Schneider's comment right here in the bottom part of the screen. Screenshot 2022 and all. I'm putting it right there. Because that is the tagline for this week's chapter of One Piece right there. That is the tagline for this week's chapter of the best-selling manga in history, alright? Yo, holy flagnards. But going back to what Kev D.O.G. said, he's spitting facts. Because this is truly something that we're going to look back on and we're going to be like, that was the game changer. It's like somebody had brought up earlier in regards to, pre-Joy Boy, post-Joy Boy stuff, depending on the way this goes. But this is going to be one of those break weeks that we're never going to forget. And when the Afterthoughts, I was talking about that, where I was like, if this is Gear 5th or Awakening, this is going to be the closest thing we'll ever get to that Gear 4th week, which if you guys were caught up at that time, that Gear 4th, I don't remember, I think, was it 2 weeks, right? It was 2 weeks. When we went on break after chapter 783, the hype was so real that I remember even my dog Sawyer 7 Mage did a reaction to that chapter the moment he woke up. Every last one of the YouTubers who was reading at that time, even the people, like I said, that did not do reactions, we all reacted to that chapter. This is going to be another scenario like that. Because what this has done is it has provided a brand new possibility in the world of One Piece that none of us saw coming. Because even though we all, like I said, we all expected Luffy to be Joy Boy, we all expected an Awakening, a Gear 5th, all that stuff, no one could have anticipated it happening in this type of way. And that's the craziest part about it. Is that now we have come into a situation to where we're going to have the next 2 weeks to discuss and think about the possibilities of what this chapter is going to have in store for us when we come back from break. This is undoubtedly up there with the Mount Rushmore of legendary weekly chapter experiences. This is going to be on level of Reverie. Because it's like, bro, just even thinking about it right now, I can't believe I read this chapter. Yo, 23 beats coming in with a 1999. Truly appreciate you, 23 beats. Yo, just because your name is 23 beats, I'll be right back. Your name is 23 beats. I gotta have the 23 on. This chapter was the most Jordan Jersey chapter. Dog, this was crazy. Listen, I'm personally speaking, I didn't think any chapter was gonna come close to 1000, 1010, and 967. Wano has at least like 5 chapters that are top 10 worthy for me. You feel me? Like it's, but this chapter, man, like. But, 23 beats, coming with a 20. Thank you so much, dog. Yo, Recon just left the gym. Yo, shout out to the gym, man. All right. Just wanted to drop a little dono before I go back and watch your reaction. Since we're almost done with the winter season of anime, what have you been watching this season? So, first and foremost, thank you so much for the dono coming straight out the gym, putting in gains. I see you. But, good stuff. Absolutely appreciate you. So, for the reaction, definitely that's a separate video than this one. This is the Afterthoughts. My stream died, and I said nothing's gonna stop me from talking about this chapter. I don't care if the algorithm hates me forever. You know how the YouTube algorithm is. I don't care if the YouTube algorithm, if they call me tomorrow and they're like, yo, that was a bad decision. I don't care about bad decisions. For the best-selling manga in history, I'll do an Afterthoughts for 10 hours. Stop me, YouTube. Go ahead, man. But it's like, yo, for a chapter like this, all bets are off. All bets are off. All bets are off. You know what I'm saying? So, truly appreciate you for that. And since we're almost done with the winter season of anime, what I've been watching this season. So this season I've been watching Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan, Dress Up Darling. I was watching Sakui Bisco. I need to catch back up to that. And then the other ones because ever since I started playing Elden Ring, everything just got dropped. I haven't touched anything but One Piece since I picked up Elden Ring. So the only one for sure that I can tell you that I'm at the very least still watching like 110% is Attack on Titan and Dress Up Darling, and even those I'm 2 episodes behind on. So those two for sure. Even though Attack on Titan I already read the manga for, but I'm watching that, and Dress Up Darling I'm brand new for that one. But then Sakui Bisco and I need to catch up to another one. But great stuff there. But yeah, Dress Up Darling is peak fiction. Shout out to my guy Laz for getting me into that series. But yeah, man, no, this week's chapter, I caught up at 780. Can't believe it's been this long now. Yo, Bar M, you caught up at chapter 780? That was right in Dressrosa with the, I think it was right after the Bellamy chapter, right? Was it the Bellamy chapter? I think the Bellamy chapter was 779. I know it was right after Zoro cut Pika. Regardless, because I remember when that stretch was happening, that was an awesome time to be caught up to the series. I mean, Dressrosa had quite a few times where it was like a really just a great time to be caught up to the series. Great stretches, but that was a special stretch when you had the Bellamy one shot, Luffy coming in to save Law, an amazing moment. Love the way that was handled in the anime. Then Luffy and Doflamingo throwing hands. The dialogue was great, and that Gear 4th reveal was just bonkers, dude. So it's like now, this might be the longest break we might have ever. Like I told y'all, I don't stay up for chapters. I think I'm staying up for this chapter when it comes out. I think I am, because at this, I mean, hopefully it drops on a Thursday again. But my people over there at the TCB, y'all take your time. All right. Thank y'all so. As a matter of fact, shout out to my dogs. Because let me tell you something. These individuals have been busting their butt to bring these chapters to us. Couldn't be more grateful. Because if it wasn't for them, we would have been stuck in the situation after we lost MS and after we lost JB. Which is, we would have been stuck with nothing until the Viz translation came out. So the fact that we're able to read this chapter right now is all thanks to their hard work. So shout out to my people over there, man, for putting in and busting their butts to give us the best-selling manga in history on Thursdays and Fridays. So if they want to give it to us on one day or the other, I don't care. I'm there when they bring me the greatness. That's all I got to say about that. So shout out to my people, because man, oh man, what a chapter. Man, oh man, what a chapter. Those are my people. Khan's chair should be the Iron Throne. Khan's chair is the Iron Throne at this point. Khan's chair is the Iron Throne. Yo, Carl! 2 achievements left? Let's go, man. 100%ing Elden Ring on the way. Good stuff, bro. Elden Piece, Luffy going into Phase 2. That's actually a really, really dope way of putting effects. Yo, if Luffy goes straight up into Phase 2 on some Elden Ring boss stuff, I feel sorry for Kaido. I feel sorry for Kaido. Yo, Jarusaurus coming in with 100. Jarusaurus! Thank you so much, dog. King, remember the New Year's message from Oda? He wanted to pay attention to Luffy. That's what we were talking about in the original stream, in the reaction stream. Hope I can draw Luffy the right way and get to the end of Wano. Yo, first and foremost, thank you so much for the super. But we were talking about that in the reaction. That is this what Oda was talking about? They want to draw this correctly. Because when that initial message came out, we talked about it in that video that week. That was he talking about literally drawing it? Or because this is a manga, the way that that it was structured, right? The way that he draws it in terms of the story, that he hopes that the story comes off correctly, because it's really hard to get what's on your mind onto the page. It's why I really, really love experiencing stuff like this, because whenever I see somebody realize their vision through the page like this, and we get a masterclass chapter like this, it's very inspirational for me that's in this field. So it's like, for me, that's the way I took it, is that Oda, of course, he wants to draw it really well, but he also really wanted this part of the story to come off correctly to us, to come off in a way that is very exciting for us as the viewers. And if you couldn't tell by all of us right now in the community, we're very excited. We're extremely excited, yo. Like, this is one of the most exciting times to be a fan of this series ever, period, yo. Goodness gracious. Yo, Kev DOG coming in with a 10. Really appreciate you, brother. You really are one of the ghosts of the community, man. Nah, man. The term GOAT is reserved for the individuals who established this community, you know, back before I came in 2013. And for the individuals that came after, that have been putting in hard work, yo. Putting in day after day, going up in like some, providing quality, not just content, but great entertainment for everybody, man. Like, those are the true GOATs. Shout out to the individuals in this community that day in and day out go in, create theories, discussions, analysis, skits, reactions, whatever it is. Those are the GOATs, man. Truly legends. So, but thank you so much for that. I truly appreciate the kind words. Thanks for putting out such great content and being an endless source of positivity. So glad that I was caught up for this insane reveal. Yo. So, truly appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much for that. I will try my hardest to put out content that could at the very least be entertaining for y'all. But thank you so much for the kind words. I truly appreciate that. But in regards to the last part of your statement, it's just one of those things to where it truly is. It's why I put that Nash Snyder comment up here. I'm just so happy to be caught up for stuff like this. And I already started feeling this way in the Afterthoughts. We were talking about 1042 and being caught up for a potential legendary moment coming in. But the fact that this surpassed all expectations, and now we're really left in a scenario where we're going to get to experience something like this weekly. This is why I want people to be caught up to One Piece. Like, I know that people say the binging experience is unmatched, and it is. The binging experience catching up to One Piece is unmatched. It's unmatched, man. It's so much fun. You know, the only thing that's ever rivaled it for me is like the Trails catch-up experience, catching up to JoJo and Hajime no Ippo, Metal Gear, like all these amazing series that I've had the opportunity to catch up to. But, you know, Gintama, so many great ones. Legendary journeys, like long journeys. But the thing with the One Piece weekly experience is that we get moments like this. We get moments like the Joy Boy Jayabaya thing. We get Nico. We get this. We get Gear 4th. We get Sabo reveal. We get Kaido falling out the sky. We get Sanji wanted dead or alive. You know, legendary moments. We get Sanji versus Luffy. We get the entire Reverie part. We get all of Wano. We get Roger versus Whitebeard. It's like, yo, even going back as far as Punk Hazard when Lost sliced the mountain in half. These are legendary moments, man. And when you're caught up to them, those memories, they stick with you forever. And it's like the fact that all of us got to live a moment like that this week. It's amazing. It is amazing, yo. Like, I'm blessed, yo. Like, we're all blessed. Yo, shout out to Spicy saying, shout out to the GOAT colorist. Facts. Yo, Bar M coming with another 10. Shout out to Bar M, yo. One Piece and Elden Ring cycle will have you lost for weeks. You're spitting. Yeah, I'm already lost in the One Piece and Elden Ring cycle. And yeah, I'll never forget being able to witness Gear 4th and the Kaido reveal live with the YouTube community. Those were two of the most fun weeks to ever be a part of. Because the initial Gear 4th reveal was such a blast. It's one of the videos I really miss from the old channel that I wish could still be around, because that Gear 4th reveal and the theories leading up to that was such a fun time. And then the Kaido reveal was just absolutely bonkers, dude. That still is the craziest character introduction I have ever seen. Well, Probably second now, because even though the initial introduction itself was crazy, I think the instant messenger Sama, how that came out of nowhere, was still probably crazier. But the initial Kaido reveal was, because I just never expected that, you know. We spent the entirety of Dressrosa theorizing that Kaido was Meadows, or Kaido is in. Y'all remember that the Kaido was Meadows? I know it was trollish, but it was still a funny theory. That's just how it was back then. But you know, the Kaido this and Kaido that, and then Big Mom showing up in Dressrosa. It's like, what's gonna happen? But the fact that Kaido actually was shown in Dressrosa was like crazy, absolutely crazy. It was the way that chapter was handled too. You know, finally seeing Sanji and the Zou squad for the first time in years at that point, and then cutting back and seeing Kaido was like, it was peak. And that's what this week's chapter has. This week's chapter, with the way that it directly connects to last week's chapter, like I said, getting the narrated Oda box of Victor Kaido was enough of a shock for me. That would have been, those first couple pages enough. We could have cut to something else and this chapter would still be a 10 out of 10 because of that. It just caught me so off guard. The CP0 member getting mollywopped sent to the Flag Nerds, and then we see the other CP0 member. And it's like, yo, what's going to happen there? What's going to happen there now? It's like, is Robin still in danger? Because if the CP0 member that's there, that's untouched, now that another one's here, potentially being the backup that is going to come to interrelated orders, but at the same time, y'all, I know it's going to sound crazy. I know this is going to sound crazy. I know this is going to sound crazy. But what if that CP0 member, because he's wearing a mask? What about if that last CP0 member isn't actually part of CP0? What about if this last CP0 member that we saw in this week's chapter is somebody else disguising themselves as a CP0 member that's currently here on this island to either A, observe, or B, help out? He's wearing a mask. So if he's not, let's just say, hypothetical situation, we have the original two CP0 members, right? They're all good and handy. But the way this one moved in this week's chapter was a little strange to me. So, if that final member is not a member of CP0 and is somebody else instead, then that raises the question, who would do such a thing? Who do we know has done such things before? Now, of course, Sabo's missing, but Sabo I've always assumed was going to be with Vivi. And that means that if Sabo is here, I know a lot of us wanted Sabo to be in Wano, but if Sabo is here and he's currently infiltrating as a member of CP0 to come in and deliver the goods, that would mean the Vivi's potentially here with him too. But the only downside to that is that I'm pretty sure Sabo's with Vivi in Alabasta, but regardless, the possibility is still there. But if this member of CP0 is not a member of CP0 and it's somebody else disguises him, it just makes me, because the thing is, it's just the way they moved in this week's chapter felt kind of odd. Like, for a little bit there, I really was thinking that person was going to unmask themselves and just reveal themselves to be somebody else. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind as a possibility, because with how insane this arc is at this point in time, we can't rule out any possibility. We can't rule out any possibility, because I remember leading up to this chapter, one of the things I kept thinking about, and I actually really wanted to make a video on this, but I didn't want to potentially get spoiled because of, or spoil others because of the video. That's why I didn't make any videos this week. And but I wanted to make a video on the possibility that the original CP0 that we saw that was going to get mollywopped maybe wasn't even the member 2, because the thing is with the masks is the mask stops. It allows us to not know who the original individual is. Now we saw one of them over there. I'm going to assume Blue Scarf also is a member, but we can't rule out the possibility that one of them is not. That right, especially with the whole Robin plot line. Let's just say third one actually does come in and swipes Robin, but it's somebody who's actually here to help us instead of take us away. Like, the possibility's there. Emu in disguise? Good lord. Yo, I would lose my mind. I would lose my mind. Now, Recon, you're flying high with this one. Well, look at it like this, anime over the manga reactions. It's like he was just looking a little like. Am I wrong in feeling like that he was looking a little weird? Like I know it's out there, but the way that he was moving this week, like if we look back at the chapter, he just gave me a very strange vibe. Like, look at this. We look back, we see to whenever he was first shown off in this week's chapter. So we see him, he walks out, he looks up, and he's hearing something. We see the crater has been crashed. He looks up and he's hearing something, right? Luffy's voice is gone. We see the CP0 member. He doesn't say a thing. He tips his hat over. And so, yes, the original 2 CP0 member is good. But this third one looks over. He's still 3 ellipses once again, not saying a single word. Then he looks over. He tips over the hat. So it's like what that tells me is either A, this individual's nasty, and they're about to ensure this job gets taken care of, or B, he's observing to go back and relay the information to the Gorosei. This really is a CP0 member. He goes back, relays the information to the Gorosei that Luffy is Joy Boy or whatever, right? If the news doesn't come out through somebody else, then it's going to come out through the CP0 member. That's what the CP0 member is here for, to ensure that things go according to plan and or to relay this information later on. So it's like a backup plan. But there's always the possibility that this individual is not a member of CP0. And so we just have to keep that in mind. We have to keep that in mind. It would be crazy. Shanks because he teleported? I would lose my mind if that's Shanks, dude. Bar M coming with the 5. Appreciate you, fam. The panel of the Gorosei leaving the room in 10:37. We gotta stop this, man. We gotta stop it now, Goku. We gotta stop it now, bro. I can't handle this. I can't handle this. Now, here's the thing. So I remember when that week's chapter dropped, the community was split. It was the Gorosei member soloed his way out of there. Remember, in the end of chapter 1037. So when we look back at the end of chapter, everybody, let's go. We'll collectively go back. At the end of chapter, is my Wi-Fi gone? It says I'm not connected to the Wi-Fi on my phone. I think I'm good. Yo, I'm getting sniped by the Gorosei. That's what I like to see. So we're on to something. All right, so when we look back, we see that whenever we look over to this part of the panel, and yes, of course, this has been used before to showcase a transition, right? So obviously, it doesn't directly correlate to a member of the Gorosei leaving that room. It does not at all correlate to that, right? But there is a possibility that is a Soru getting the Flagnards out of there, which is why that week I was like, yo, what about if the member of the Gorosei actually does show up in Wano? So, and I wasn't the only one saying that. But of course, like I said, half and half. A certain section was like, no, that's just a regular transition, which most likely that's what happened. But the hypothetical situation is still there, that if the member of the Gorosei did leave, and if this dude that we're seeing in this week's chapter is a member of the Gorosei, that would be the craziest. That would be on the same level, or below. There's nothing on the same level as this. It would be on the same level, or like right below. The fact that this man Luffy's about to transform into Joy Boy or awaken into something similar to Joy Boy. You know what I'm saying? Nika. But then, if that's the case, so let's explore that scenario. If this is a member of the Gorosei, or somebody directly connected to the Gorosei, or it is somebody on the other side. So let's just say we have the Gorosei, who of course want to keep all of this quiet, and they're going over here to make sure that this stuff gets done. Or B, it is somebody like a Shanks, for example, or, I mean, if that's Shanks, that'd be crazy. But let's say like someone like a Sabo, Revolutionary, whatever it is. Like somebody maybe that we don't even know yet. Vegapunk, I don't know, man. But somebody who is going to be a helper. So there's two sides. Like if this is not a member of CP0, we have somebody who's going to help us, and somebody who's going to be against us. If this is a member if this is a member of the Gorosei, and he's nasty, because that's the thing, he's got to be nasty. If he's not nasty, he's just here to observe and wait for the right situation. But if the member of the Gorosei is filthy, this is crazy. This is crazy, man. So, Andres, I can definitely see what you're talking about there. He says, I thought the CP0 guy tipped his hat as a respect for his probably fallen comrade. I can most certainly see that being the case. Most certainly see, and honestly, that did seem like the most likely scenario. My entire thing is this. Yes, Oda does like showing the sympathetic aspect of both sides, right? Especially, well, here, technically on all three sides. So here we're getting the sympathetic aspect from the Straw Hat side, Kaido's side, and the CP0 side. Like, this member did this. He got wrecked. Obviously, he got killed. He got sent out to the Flagnar. So this CP0 member could be simply just observing, tipping his hat out of respect, doing a salute 100%. The only thing that makes me stop and look at this from a different perspective is the manner in which these panels were drawn. If it was going to be just something out of respect, at least if I was the one creating the story, and obviously Oda's a 10 times better storyteller I'll ever be, but I would want to put emphasis. This is very, very important for something later on. I would want to put emphasis on something like this for a twist that's being planted for the future. And so you look at him in this first panel, you see he hears something, you get the 3 ellipses. Then once again you go back and you see the same thing again. This time looking up. And then he looks over, and it's like, I don't know. He's moving different than the other 2 members of the CP0 did. And maybe it's just me, but it feels like it's moving different. It feels like it's moving different. But like you said, if this is him simply just saluting his comrade, that is a really cool way to have that be showcased. Of course, we could probably get more confirmation than the anime if the manga hasn't already gotten to that stuff by then, which I'm going to assume it will. But if it simply is just him saluting him, been beautiful. Really, like I said, a nice moment to show empathy for all 3 sides, right? Where we feel for these characters, right? We feel like, oh man, I remember CP0 just lost his dude. Kaido, of course, is losing his mind here after getting robbed, and Luffy just died. So it's like, yo, we're feeling for all 3 sides here. We know Oda definitely does allow us to come up with our own answers as to who's right, who's wrong, and all this stuff, and showing why all sides are doing what they're doing. So I can definitely see that being the case. The only thing is that with how everything is going, with the way these panels were presented, it just seems very odd. This seems very odd to me. You know what I mean? Yo, lazy mofos, that's true. Lazy mofos, that's true. He says none of them have killed who's who either, which is the reason they were there originally. That is very true. So do you think their mission will be, because they have several missions at this point, they're coming here to take who's who, to take Nico Robin, and now especially after what has been brought here at the forefront is the go with the code. So what happens now? What happens now? You know what I mean? Like, with so many different objectives, what happens now? Green Bull? Holy flagnars. Can you imagine that? But can they even expend resources to send Green Bull with oh man, that's the case. That'd be nuts. That would be nuts. No, yeah. So I see a few of you, talking about or it could be one of the generals of the Revolutionary Army. That is also true. Or Katarina Devon. Definitely. Oh my god. Oh, bro. If in any given point in one of these upcoming chapters, we get a Zehahaha or an Arura. Yo, that'd be crazy. So I see a few of you talking about the Bing Sake thing. We were talking about that earlier on in the chapter Afterthoughts. And then for the individuals who did not see the reaction, of course, we talked a lot about this in the reaction as well. Or not about this specifically, but about a lot of different things in the reaction. Specifically when it comes to the Luffy stuff and what the potentials with the hair, the hat, all that stuff. We talked about that in the reaction Afterthoughts. So if you'd like to hear those thoughts, that'll be over there. And of course here as well, if you have any more thoughts on that. But I just saw y'all bring up the Bing Sake thing. So we talked about that earlier. Adrian sent it to me. It is once again. I'm gonna read it again because it's just absolutely incredible. Where the final parts right here state, "Now comes a storm through the far off sky. Now the waves are dancing, beat upon the drums," which of course is what we saw in this week's chapter. "If you lose your nerve, this breath could be your last." This week's chapter. "But if you just hold on, the morning sun will rise, the dawn." Clearly, what is happening here on Wano right now. So it's like, yo, this is insane. The fact that Bing Sake directly correlates and connects to what is currently happening, right? And if Bing Sake was a song that was originally done back in the times of Joy Boy, and in that time period, then it's like, if they created that song, if he was one of the individuals that was there in the creation of that song, whenever they were all celebrating together, having a good time, then man, oh man. And it's like, you already know that's going to end up being the case. Thousand Sunny says, "King Fire spreading everywhere on Onigashima thoughts." I mean, at this point, with the whole Nika thing, I feel like it's just going to help Nika. You know what I mean? Like, look at what he's known as. The sun god. Like, bro, might as well have the entire island. Because the thing is, now that Kaido's going in all over the place, he's going to be going ham. What about there's a fire that offsets his fire? It looks up and like, what in the world? It's Nika. It's Nika. I still can't get over that comment that Adrian said, man. Like, yo, if that is truly the case, that Kaido wanted to die this entire time because he knew that when someone dies, or that someone dying, or the act of death, not only completes a person, but it would allow a chance for Joy Boy to pop out, the real Joy Boy. Because that's the thing that this chapter presents, right? It presents those questions. It presents those scenarios. And it's allowing us to look back at everything that's been stated up until this point and really think about certain things. And that's what we're going to be really, really diving in and talking about here, man, because in the next couple of weeks, it's like, man, it's like, yo, if this really is Joy Boy, it's like, can he even have the knowledge? Would it even make sense to have an individual show up like that containing knowledge from back then? It's like, like I was saying in the reaction, wouldn't that rob the satisfaction of us figuring that out through Robin's eyes when we learn more about the Void Sentry? It's why I'm so torn on this really being Joy Boy / Nika, or this being something that really relates to him in terms of maybe the awakening, like I said, with the drums, has a similar beat, reminds Zunisha of his awakened form, of Nika's awakened form, of Joy Boy. Like, it's the awakening that causes it. It's like, man, but regardless, it's going to be peak fiction. Regardless. But it's just, it raises so many questions. It raises so many questions, and it's so strange. And I love the idea, like, Ron Gamers talks about, like, the liberator of slaves. Like, that is such a, like, the drums of liberation. It's just super, super dope. Yo, holy Flagnars, what's going on? What's going on, yo? like a whole bunch of stuff just popped up at once. Yo, shout out to y'all. Thank y'all so much for the support. Truly appreciate y'all. So we start off first here with Alex Sylvester with the $10 Canadian. Says it's still a little unclear to me. Did Luffy straight up die? But what revived him? The fruit or Joy Boy's will? That is what I'm asking as well, Alex. And thank you for bringing up this question once more. So we talked about this a little bit in the reaction, but the whole idea of Luffy straight up dying in this week's chapter, if he did die, and like I said, if there is a connection to Kaido also wanting to die, because we know he wants to become Joy Boy, if that's the connection, I think we can all accept it thematically, right? If that is the connection, but it's like, then it's like maybe he didn't die. Maybe it's just that Luffy's voice has been lost and replaced with Joy Boy's voice. But then if Luffy is Joy Boy, then this would mean that he's just entering a new state, a new form, that where his old voice is unrecognizable, right? So it's like, it's so strange. The whole voice of all things thing is just so strange to me, and how it's going to be handled from here on out, right? So there's a few different possibilities, but regardless, you're right. If Luffy did die, then what is it that restarts that heart back up again? Is it the fruit? The fruit that calls upon the awakening, which is Joy Boy? It's like, what is it? I don't know, man. I don't know, but it's crazy. Like, it hurts your mind, man. It really, like, it destroys your brain cells. It's crazy, man. I don't know, Alex Sylvester. We're going to be thinking about that one for a while, dude. It's like, what truly did revive him? Was it the fruit? Was it he himself awakening? Like I said, is it Joy Boy's will? I don't know, man. Thank you so much for the comment, dog. Yo, Jarosaurus coming in. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Kingdom of Awesome Sauce. Shout out to Sand Hat Gang. Thank you so much for that. Bar M coming in with a 5. In regards to Bing Sake and what we know now, who said that slaves worship Nika as a god? Could Bing Sake be the song those slaves sang? Absolutely. Absolutely. I believe that very well could be the case. I believe that Bing Sake could very well be the song that was created back then, because maybe they were going through a similar situation, right? And them singing was a way of attempting to be liberated. We've seen that in multiple times in history. Some of the most beautiful songs in our modern time were created in very, very just terrible situations, right? Singing about liberation, stuff like wade in the water, like stuff like that. Really, it comes to mind in terms of individuals that just want to be freed, and so they sing out loud into the world so that their voice can be heard. You know what I mean? That's something that's been along for so many years. And we see that when individuals want to be freed, when individuals want to be liberated, one of the best ways of showcasing that to where it reaches the heart is music. Music hits, man. It hits the heart. It hits it to where people can come together and sing that thing. And allows them to feel liberated as they chase freedom. And so that very well could be the case that Bing Sake was that for those slaves back then. You're right. You're right. Honestly, the more that I think about it, you're absolutely right. That very well could be the case. That very well could be the case. Thank you so much for that comment. That's actually that's very, very possible. That Bing Sake could be the song that they sang. As a matter of fact, I think it might actually be like 100%, or the closest thing to 100%. But thank you so much for that, yo. And then another member, shout out to the members coming in. UJ covered in and says, welcome to the Kingdom of Awesome Sauce. Thank you for joining the Santa Hat Gang. Truly appreciate you, dog. Man, Brago live right now. He's having a meltdown. Yo, Noel, I wish I could be there. It's like, but I gotta talk about the chapter myself. Man, but I'm glad Brago's in the same mindset as me. We're just losing our minds. I mean, who wouldn't be losing their minds right now? You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. Yo, Hazy coming in with a 799. Remember when Madame Shirley saw Luffy destroying fish? Okay. That's a possibility. So, of course, Wano was the culmination right now, up until this point, of everything that happened post-time skip. That's when Joybo was introduced. The Noah thing, Madame Shirley talking about the Straw Hat. Of course, at the time, we all assumed when Chapter 906 came out with the giant Straw Hat that that's what Madame Shirley was talking about. It wasn't Luffy. Because remember, it specifically said a man with a straw hat. And even back then, I remember the theories being a part of the, somebody else wearing the straw hat could potentially come in and destroy a certain place, right? Or destroy the Fishman Island. It didn't necessarily, have to be Luffy. But after this week's chapter, you're absolutely right. We could get to a scenario if Joy Boy, but bro, how toxic would that be? Joy Boy sent an apology to Fishman Island. And you're telling me he's the one that destroys it again? Or he's the one that destroys it? That really sounds like a tragedy waiting to happen. But it's like, see, and then because of that, I'm still holding off on the fact that it's a giant straw. The person wearing the giant straw that's going to come in and 100%. Madame Shirley's stuff always comes true. So we know the Fishman Island will be destroyed. And as the Fishman Island is being destroyed, we assume that the Noah is going to be the thing that carries everyone out of there to safety, right? So when that happens, but we don't know who's going to destroy the Fishman Island. We don't know if it's going to be literally Luffy coming in, destroying the Fishman Island as some sort of symbolism or whatever. We don't know if it's going to be Joy Boy now, or Nika, coming in doing this. For what purpose? Who knows? For what purpose? Who knows? Because the thing is, I was just thinking about something. Can you imagine? I mean, this is just from a hype standpoint. But Joy Boy hits Kaido so hard, he smashes into the Fishman Island. But the problem with that, of course, is the fact that they wouldn't be able to get people to safety. I think that the important thing is the individual has to show up. Madame Shirley has to see the person with the straw hat, right? But then again, that could be the land, sea, and air thing, right? Like, Kaido's never lost on land, sea, or air. We've seen the land, we've seen the air. Being in the sea, the Fishman Island is the furthest you can go in the sea. But regardless, that's just an out there possibility, just a hype situation. But regardless, that's super, super out there. That's tinfoil hat to the max. But there is that possibility of this being that. Now you got my brain really moving, man. Holy flagnars, that's nuts. That's nuts. Yeah, for real, anime over the manga reaction was like, sorry in advance. Like, yeah, my bad, yo. Next time I come back, I'm laying them smack down. Yo, that's toxic. That's toxic. Y'all think certain people are toxic. That's toxicity. That's toxicity. Imagine. He sends an apology letter 800 years in advance because he knows I'm about to wake up and mollywop someone. Yo, Jarusari's coming in with the 100. Thank you so much. Bro, I've been here since before the underscore. That's a legend right there, yo. Thanks for all the hype and fun times. Thank you for being with me since the underscore. That is 2015, going back to 2013 when the channel was first created. Like, truly, truly appreciate you for being with me from all the way back then. You know, you've been here with me for that long. You know, things have never changed. So we're still the same dude from back then as now. And it's just, I'm so grateful and blessed to have somebody that's been here with me for so long, man. Thank you so much for that, dog. Truly appreciate that. Like, that really does mean the world to me, because it's like, these bonds, they go beyond just, the screen and whatnot. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy that being here for such a long time and seeing individuals that have been here from before the underscore, bro. Like, that's crazy. Shout out to you, dog. I truly appreciate you. Peak fiction time. Dawn is here. Joy Boy is here. Jaya Baya is here. With the drums hitting, man. Thank you so much, yo. This is a legendary chapter, man. Yo, and Bar M comes in with a 5. To add to Hazy and you saying Fishman Island being destroyed, what if Blackbeard is going there instead of Alabasta, not Pluton, but Poseidon instead? You see, that's actually very interesting. Because, so, we all assume he's going after an ancient weapon, right? Is that a safe assumption? That all of us think Blackbeard's going after an ancient weapon? Whenever he said, now that's going to be open. He's going to go for an ancient weapon. Whether it's Uranus, which we don't know what it is, Pluton, or Poseidon. Now, of course, like you said, we were all thinking it was going to be Pluton or Uranus. But if he really is going after Poseidon, that would mean that the reason why Oda put all of the Aokiji stuff at that time, the Caribou stuff at that time, was a misdirection. Because maybe this entire time, because I know it was, for me especially, back when Fishman Island was happening, I thought that Kaido was going to be the one to do something huge with Shirahoshi. I thought Kaido himself, like this was a theory we had when Zou was still going on weekly, that when it was revealed about the road poneglyphs, we were talking about, I don't remember, I think that was for chapter 818. I thought that Kaido was legit going to pull up to the Reverie himself and capture Shirahoshi. I honestly thought that was a possibility that could take place. And we talked about that in several different chapter discussions. But at the time, I was like, it has to be Kaido. There's no way he would have the Caribou thing if it's not Kaido. But what about if it was misdirection in classic Oda style? Because now we see a lot of the stuff from early in that arc was setting up Blackbeard too. So if Blackbeard really is going after Poseidon instead, now we're going to be in a scenario where if Blackbeard controls the sea with the Sea Kings, what is Luffy going to do? What is Luffy going to do at the end of the series? Or going into this final saga? If Kaido has Shirahoshi, Sabo's with Vivi escaping from the WG, Dragon declares war on the world government, we have to go to Elbaf to get the final piece towards the One Piece. What happened? Bro, it's going to be chaos. It's going to be chaos. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be chaos. And I don't even know how we're getting out of this arc after this week's chapter. That is so true, man. You just blew my mind. Because you're spitting facts. Because if Blackbeard really is going after Poseidon, then that's going to change the entire game of the story going forward. Because we know Garp was there. And we saw him leaving after saying, don't be afraid of the humans after this. And they told him the truth of whatever's happening in the Alabasta Kingdom. Good Lord. This is crazy. Remember, there were 2 sovereigns to be born? You're right, Lawrence. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Oda giving us a cliffhanger and then a break. This is the cliffhanger. This is the cliffhanger of cliffhangers. this is the cliffhanger. We still have no idea what the Gorosei heard that made them exactly. What were the rumors and hearsay What was it that caused them to move? What was it that caused them to immediately state eliminate Stride? What is it that caused them to shift from Nico Robin to eliminate Stride Luffy immediately? Were they remembering something that Shanks said? Did they receive info in between that time? Did the instant messenger summon relay an order? What happened? What caused them to move? You know what I'm saying? Like, even if they themselves didn't show up, like we were talking about earlier, even if they themselves didn't show up, what caused them to create that order? Like, how did they know it was Luffy? They know that this was going to happen. Man, now, my brain is fried, bro. Oh my goodness. I need help. I need help before my brain dies. I need some more help. I need some more help, man. Maybe Kaido knew about Joy Boy and possibly death is what you need to be Joy Boy from Roxy's back, because it was mentioned that Rox was involved in some taboo stuff. That is very true, and maybe that's where Kaido learned that from. So we were talking about that earlier. AJ, Adrian brought up the possibility that Kaido potentially wanted to die in order for Joy Boy to come out, because maybe he heard that, like you said, either from Rox or from a Poneglyph here on Wano. So, but if it was from Rox and Rox was involved in some taboo stuff, then maybe, what if Rox allowed himself to die on that day because he believed so strongly that he was Joy Boy? But then who did he hear that from? Who did any of them hear that from? They had to get it from somewhere. Unless Rox was the person who had the Gomu Gomu no Mi. But that doesn't make any sense, because Garp would have said something by now. Someone would have said something by now if Rox had the Gomu Gomu no Mi. And Zunisha said this is the first time he's heard this in 800 years. So this is the first time somebody's awakened the fruit in 800 years. They kept this thing so secret. The WG kept this one specifically so down-packed. They were willing to eliminate who's who just for having this information. Shanks has them at his whim. Stopped a war. And of course, it's because Shanks is that dude. But if this information is a part of it to where they know Shanks contains information that is very detrimental to them, the fact that he knows what the Gomu Gomu no Mi is, the fact that he knows what all this stuff, what is actually happening in One Piece world, it's like he has them. He has them in the palm of his hand. They can't do anything against him. He's going to go out there and reveal the truth. So it's like, it's very dangerous individuals. And we know how important this information is to these characters. Rocks, man. They could be flashback time. Let me ask y'all this. Now that we have people here, now I can ask y'all this here. Do you guys think next chapter we see the Gorosei? Do you guys think next chapter we see the Gorosei? And the reason why I ask this is if this truly is Joy Boy, or if this is Luffy awakening to become something similar to Joy Boy, wouldn't we get a scenario where we cut back to a member of the Gorosei, or members of the Gorosei, to see their expressions as this stuff is being relayed to them, or if they hear it, or if they feel it? Maybe yes, next chapter no, 60 chess. If I see Emu next chapter, you can have my Hockey Volumes 2. We might. No. I actually don't know. I got it. The main reason why I asked is because, so next chapter, I'm going to assume we're going to be pretty much here with the Joy Boy thing. Zunisha could get a mini flashback as Kaido comes face to face with either awakened Luffy or Joy Boy Nika. And we start seeing this, right? We start seeing whatever this is going to be. The reason why I brought up the Gorosei is because of how much we've been going to those parts. We keep switching, like in chapter, what was that, 1028? We saw Raw Bellucci. Then in 1037, we switched over to the Gorosei. So, but the thing is, how would they know? Not even they are all knowing. Like, the Instant Messenger Sama is not all knowing. Maybe he is, I don't know. But the only way they would get this information is if it is relayed to them through Eden and Muji. So, we potentially might not see them. I had a thought in mind that if this is directly, like all this is directly connected to the changing of Fruit and Nanos history, just eliminating Straw at Luffy, it's like we could potentially get them seeing this and then really wanting to go out and eliminate this dude. But we're probably going to save that for later on in the arc. Right now, we're probably going to stay with just Luffy and Kaido, just the Joy Boy and Kaido thing. Kaido coming face to face with potentially the individual who he wanted to become this entire time. We could get, oh man. So, you know how we were talking about the afterthoughts? That if Oda were to switch to anything right now at its peak, this is at its peak right now. If Oda were to switch to a flashback right now, this would be the perfect time. Because now we would be at the very peak in interest over here. Kaido comes face to face with Joy Boy. Maybe he remembers something that Rock says. And then we go and we see Kaido's flashback. We cut out of Kaido's flashback. We come back to the present, and then we see Luffy or Joy Boy / Luffy versus Kaido. This chapter has my brain losing it, man. I'm losing my mind, dude. I'm losing my mind. Yo, if same Final Destiny, that's literally me. That's literally me. That's literally me. Yeah, so it's about like half and half. Like, I'm not sure, don't know, yes, not next chapter. I'm of that same mentality. Like, if it's gonna happen, if it's gonna happen at all, it might not happen next chapter. It could be like potentially here within the next few chapters. You know what I mean? If the Gorosei get a feeling shivers that the fruit has awakened, oh man, yo, could you imagine? Like, that would be nuts. If we cut to Instant Messenger Sama, that would be the craziest thing ever. Instant Messenger, oh my god. The first thing we see next chapter is Instant Messenger Sama in the catacombs. He already knew this was coming, and he's looking at the hat. Oh man, that can't happen. That's too much. 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 That's way too much. That's way too much. The next time we're seeing Instant Messenger Sama has to be in Post Wano with Dragon. There's no way. If we see him in front of the giant straw hat, and he's like, "It's time." Oh! He feels it. He feels it. He feels it, man. Yo, that'd be nuts. That'd be nuts. That'd be nuts, yo, in the catacombs. Yes, Scar, I did hear the One Piece anime is going indefinite hiatus. I heard that in the reaction. It just saddens me, man. It's such a... like above like my love for the anime out the door, right? I'm most feeling for the animators, the people who work so hard. If their stuff is truly gone, like if the work that they put in so hard to create isn't there anymore, or the fact that they can't show it off yet because of this hack, like I feel sorry for them above my own personal enjoyment. Like as much as I want to see Roof Piece, I want to see Roof Piece so bad. And hopefully we do get like a rescheduling announcement soon where we'll figure out exactly what's gonna happen there. But it just my heart goes out to the individuals who work on the story, man, and who work on the anime, because you can tell throughout the course of this arc, throughout the course of this entire series, how much love and care is put into into the anime, man. And especially here in this arc where you're seeing so many animators pouring their entire just everything into the series. And the fact that they may not be able to have the stuff they've worked on, it's either been erased or they can't show it off yet. My heart goes out to them, man. And I really hope that can be resolved soon, so that we could get their work showed. And then, of course, for us, the people who consume that, to be able to see the absolute best that they have to offer, because we already know Roof Piece is going to hit different. The writing's on the wall. You know, we have legends working on it. I just hope that what they worked on this entire time has not been erased for them. You know, me as the consumer, I don't even care about that. For them as the creators, that's what I'm worried about, man. That's what I'm really worried about. Yo, could you imagine that fall of Peasy? Could you imagine that fall of Peasy? The Straw Hat melts? Nah. Because bro, if it is the Straw Hat, because the thing is like of course, like we were talking about in the reaction, could be the Straw Hat, could be the fruit, which I'm really leaning towards it being the fruit, man. Like the fruit thing makes so much sense to me. We don't know anything, and this would lead us more into the origin of the fruits thing, which I do believe we're gonna get into when we meet Vegapunk. The fruits themselves, the process of awakening those fruits, the whole spirits potentially being in there, it can work. Bro, this is Pirates and the Sea we're talking about. Davy Jones' Locker, all these things, like, it's all possible. And so if this is all leading us towards the origin of the fruits thing, it's like, man, I don't know. But that comment spooks me, yo. That comment spooks me. Last says Emo playing with a giant straw like a frisbee and Dragon catches it. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. Yo, Bar M comes in. Shout out to Bar M with a 5. Next chapter will either be chapter 784 with Bound Man, being a couple pages later, or 895, where Snake Man was the first panel. It depends on Goro. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. It's gonna be like 784 or 895. I think it could be like 784. And the reason why I say that is because I think we could start off with Kaido, and we see Kaido feeling something. It's like, what in the flagon hearts is that? Or maybe even Zunisha. So we could be like Zunisha and Kaido. They're gonna be losing their minds, and be like, oh my goodness, like this is it. Kaido's gonna feel something crazy. He's gonna go straight up to the roof, like, what is this? And when he gets up there, he's gonna see a silhouette. Oh, I can see it clear as day. Kaido's gonna go back up to the roof. He's gonna see a silhouette and be like, yo, I thought you were dead. He's gonna turn his face, and and when Luffy turns his face, we're gonna see it for the first time. We're going to see whatever this is, whether it's awakening, whether it's Luffy himself having become and now his heart is beating, he himself is drumming. Because the thing is, remember how Bounce Man creates that dunk dunk dunk. Maybe the sound that this thing makes is the drums. So every time Luffy moves, it's like he's in the beat of a rhythm. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be Donkey Kong Man out here. So it's like, if he hears that, Kaido's gonna go crazy. Like I said, regardless of whether this really is Joy Boy / Nika, or this is Luffy getting the closest to that, like awakening something that has not been awakened over 800 years, regardless of the way that it is, Kaido's gonna see this, he's gonna be going crazy. He's gonna be like, yo, there's no way. And so if we see that from Kaido's perspective first, oh man, I feel so sorry for Kaido. I feel so sorry for Kaido because the thing is, Kaido would be in a scenario to where now he would take 2 L's back to back. He would be in a scenario where he's won. He's won the battle. He's won the fight, not of his own thing, of course, even though he more than likely would have won that encounter. But if a CP0 member robbed him of that, really hurt him. We see that in this week's chapter. He was enraged. Kaido was enraged this week. And so, combine that with the fact that if he were to meet Joy Boy face to face, or Luffy, who is clearly Joy Boy / Nika, then it would really send Kaido into an extremely depressive state. Of like, man, and it sucks for Kaido, bro. So that's why I truly do believe we're going to see this thing, whatever we're about to see, through Kaido's perspective. Because what better way to lead into a flashback, right? Than from now seeing things from his perspective, because we've never heard Luffy's thoughts. That's one of the things about One Piece that's made so special. We've never heard his thoughts. And so if this would be the first, or not the first time, but we continue that not hearing his thoughts thing with this potential, whatever is happening here, it's like, that's what makes me believe that we're going to see this from Kaido's POV. Because it just makes sense, right? Which would be insane. Guys, please listen to the epic version, Overtaken by Katame. Imagine next chapter could happen. What is that? Epic, Overtaken by Katame? I'll remember that. I'll listen to that tomorrow when I reread the chapter. I'm going to reread this chapter so many times. Yo, Wano, listen, man. Wano was already shaping up to be my favorite arc. This chapter solidified it. Bro. Yo, this chapter, I remember Hazi asked me a long time ago, because the Shogun assassination arc was untouchable for me. Untouchable. And it still is, honestly. But in terms of just straight enjoyment, I don't know if I've ever enjoyed an arc more than I've enjoyed Wano, man. I'm gonna be honest. Like, yo, experiencing this arc weekly has been special, bro. And I enjoy other arcs in this series for different reasons. But as far as the experience of experiencing this with you guys, having chapters like this, chapters like the Laugh Tale chapter, Roof Piece stuff, just the entire package has just been so special, man. Like, shout out to Wano, dude. Love this arc. Luffy will look like Nika? No question. Yeah, we're definitely going to see like the spiked up hair, flames. We're going to see all that next week. Or the chapter after that. Or the week after that. Gear 4 Luffy has had some markings that look like the fruit. I'm going to guess that this new awakening is going to have more of these markings. I agree. I think it's definitely going to be adding on to what Doflamingo was talking about when it came to like the strange marks that were on his body. That we're going to see more of that. And like I said, don't be surprised if we see on Luffy's face a similar mark, quote unquote, to the mark that Dragon has on his face. Because if Nika really is what Dragon modeled himself over after figuring out the truth, then seeing that mark on Luffy's face would be huge. You know what I mean? Because it would really showcase, like, this is something that comes from the Void Sentry. So, I'm definitely hanging on to that. Are you sure Kaido wanted to be Joy Boy or wait for Joy Boy? That's a good question, Lawrence. That is definitely two things. So for me, I thought he wanted to become Joy Boy, just based on the way this arc has gone so far. I thought he wanted to be Joy Boy. However, if he was waiting for Joy Boy, that's also a different scenario, because that would mean that he was waiting for somebody who could pose challenge to him, right? Who could give him or that could, for whatever reason, maybe he thought Joy Boy could save him. In the same way that maybe Kaido feels like even though he enslaved Yamato, maybe he himself has felt slave for so many years, and he heard through rocks or through the poneglyphs of Nika, who freed so many slaves, and he himself wanted to be freed. And so maybe he was waiting for someone to free him, and he thought the only thing that could free him was death. And so potentially maybe that's why he was waiting for Joy Boy. But I still believe that he himself wants to become Joy Boy. I do believe that to be the case. But you're right. It's definitely one. It could be one or the other. That could be the case, Dragon Costor. We talked about that in the reaction, but that very well could be the case. Kaido's backstory is all I need to cement him as my top one villain in One Piece until Teach takes over. I'm with those same exact sentiments to a T, Laz. I recorded a video last week, and I didn't get a chance to upload it because I didn't want to spoil anyone, or I didn't want anybody to get spoiled because of me, right? But I made a video talking about Kaido potentially being the best villain in the series, and I wanted to release that this week. But like I said, I didn't want anyone to get spoiled, or I didn't want to get spoiled on a potential comment, talking about what could happen in this week's chapter. So I was like, you know what, I'm not going to do it. But in the future, I do want to talk about Kaido potentially being one of, if not the best villain in the series, and it's only going to get higher from here when we get his flashback. Kaido's a really special character. And the more that we learn about him, the more that his character just gets higher and higher on my list. Because he has everything you'd possibly ever want in a character. And it's like, we haven't even got his flashback yet, bro. And Blackbeard, of course, you know how big of a Blackbeard tard I am. But Blackbeard, it's all potential. Potential in the things that he said that makes him so interesting and so amazing. He's an opportunist. But in Kaido's case, it's here. It's what we're seeing with our own eyes. It's like, what an amazing character. Hey, I love that too, Dragon Castor. That MVP Nami for not believing 1 second Luffy's dead. I love that. Absolutely love that. Read the lyrics of Bink Saki. You'll be shocked how it relates to the Chapter King. Oh yeah, Harold. I already read them. I was sent the lyrics earlier. Absolutely crazy. My mind is still blown from that. M Series says, yo, Recon, I might be alone, but I think people are jumping to conclusions that Luffy is Joy Boy. I don't know, this is Oda, it can't be this straightforward. In that regard, M Sphere, the way I look at it is, it's half and half. Like you said, it's either the Oda misdirection, making us believe that Luffy's about to transform and become Joy Boy / Nika, or what Zunisha and Momonosuke, what Zunisha's hearing is the beat of something that he heard 800 years ago that only came out of Joy Boy, which was potentially him, of course, 110% at this point, having Luffy's fruit, whatever the Gomu Gomu no Mi was named back then, having that fruit, and that fruit is giving off a similar voice, the same voice that Joy Boy gave off back in those times. So at this point in time, it could very well be one of those two. Luffy literally becoming this character from 800 years ago, or giving off the same type of thing that reminds Zunisha of the past, which would, of course, lead it to it being the fruit that's doing this, right? The awakening of the fruit. So it's one of those two things, honestly. And I'm right there with you. Like, I don't think people are jumping to conclusions. I just believe that this is one of those chapters to where I feel like we can't go too far out there. Like, this chapter just left so much. This chapter broke our ankles so much that anything's possible. Anything's possible. Kevin Garnett style. Anything's possible. Like, crazy stuff. Yo, Milo Cake coming in and becoming a member. I truly appreciate you, Milo Cake. Welcome to the kingdom of Santa hats. Truly appreciate you, fam. Truly, truly appreciate you. So I see multiple people talking about the drum fruit, the drum no mi. I actually love that. I actually love that. I actually really love that. If he has the drum fruit, so drums. Wait. Okay, hold on. Let's tie this back, because the thing is, it still has to have. So, is Luffy's fruit going to be something to where when it awakens, it changes? Not necessarily changes properties, because the thing that's stopping me from believing that Luffy's fruit is not the Gomu Gomu no Mi specifically is Enel. When Enel struck Luffy, he could not be damaged. That was rubber. That was the properties of rubber. So if Luffy's fruit really is the drum no mi, it would have to be something that is created when it's awakened, like that ability that can only happen when it's awakened. So it's like that's the one thing that stops me from being 100% like, man, that's actually like really awesome. It's like maybe it changes when it's awakened. Because the thing is, just like Blackbeard has multiple fruits, but in the case of the Gomu Gomu no Mi, it could be two fruits in one, or something that literally changes properties as it awakens. But I'm not sure. And the reason why I'm not sure is because we don't know much about fruits in regards to what they can do whenever they're fully awakened. Up until this point, whenever we see awakening, we've been led to assume that it's something that can allow you to surround the entire area. You know what I mean? Like how Doflamingo was able to do it, and what have you, and how we saw her like impel down and whatnot. Individuals who were awakened and impacted the entire environment, and then we got to see what like Law and Kid could do in this arc. But it's like, we don't really know. So, but I love the idea of the drum no mi. I'm just not fully 100% on board, like I said, because of the Enel thing. Yo, Zed Ferenz, what's good? Amazing chapter, yo. Peak fiction, yo. Peak fiction. Do you think the CP0 members line with Imo the Gorosei, or a Blackbeard, or a Secret Guardian, or a Watcher of Luffy? I think it's definitely one of the two. It looks to me more like an ally, but at the same time, I'm also starting to believe that it could be a member of the Gorosei / somebody alive with the Gorosei. So, but it's got to be one of the two. Like, I would love, like you said, if it's something like Katarina Devon, or if it's somebody like from Blackbeard's camp, the Revolutionary Army camp, one of those, that would be really awesome. Just the way they're moving is really strange. But if it is someone really spooky, like someone related to Im, like maybe one of Im's direct underlings, or a specific member of the Gorosei, maybe the Gorosei himself, whatever it is, I do believe that it is most certainly one of those, right? It has to be one of those. Main thing for NL is that the substance just has to be an inductor, really. That is true, Milo Cake. That is very, very true. That is very, very true. I'm happy I didn't miss this. Yo, Fable, what's good, yo? What's good? Luffy was looking for a musician from the very beginning since he was a musician. Yo, that's true, Roodles. That's true. Yo, Bar M coming in with the 5. Truly appreciate you. Instead of a Kaido, a couple panels of Zunisha remembering Joy Boy 800 from 800 years ago, and it transitions to Luffy next chapter. I lose my mind. Oh my gosh. I would love that. So like instead of a Kaido, so it's like we were talking about in the reaction, like instead of a Kaido flashback, we would instead get like a mini Joy Boy flashback. So we get a couple panels. Hey, those panels of Zunisha and Joy Boy from back in the day would have the Lore Piece fans going crazy. going crazy, dude. I would love that. We need a flashback. I feel like after this chapter, we need. You're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Give me 1 second. We're gonna keep going for a few more minutes. It is 2 a.m, but I don't care. We're gonna keep going for at least like 15 more minutes. Just let me use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back, and then we'll be back with some more greatness. Audio capture. There we go. We're back. All right. So I see quite a few things in here. Okay, so I've been seeing you guys talk about the Uteron theory since last week. About the oil thing, right? I was talking about the oil theory. Was Zunisha a human? Did it get turned into an elephant? That is very possible, Miles. Very possible. Remember when that chapter initially came out, that was a possibility that we kept discussing, was the fact that Zunisha potentially being a human being who was transformed into an elephant as a sort of punishment, right? And so that could be an indication towards the origin of fruits and the curse of not being able to swim. Individuals who were turned into these things. And I remember somebody brought up earlier, it was a very interesting comment. I don't remember if it was here or in the reaction, but the fact that fruits taste weird. And it's like, well, of course it would taste weird if they're made of a human substance, but still, the fact remains that that is a possibility. And so with Zunisha turning into a human, turning into a massive elephant and forced to wander for all these years, then I wonder if we're going to figure out exactly what that thing was next chapter, right? Or very soon. If not next chapter, very soon. Because Zunisha's going to have a flashback to the last time we saw this, right? Or last time the memories he remembers of Joy Boy. It's like specifically says, like, yo, this is the drums of liberation. You know what I mean? Like, man. Should stream until the next chapter is out. Yo, Con the Walrus, I really should, right? I really should. We should just be live for the next 2 weeks. Say screw it. Wano giving some of the best action we've seen in the series and the best lore info, 100% has he. This one makes it so special. Ifan Sorella says, Luffy's meltdown and smiling gave me goosebumps. Crazy stuff, yo. Crazy stuff. If we get Joy Boy's flashback, it'll be in conjunction with the Void Sentry, 100%. 100%. That's why I think if we do get a Joy Boy flashback, it's gonna have to correlate directly with what's happening here in Wano. So like with the Gozuki clan, the truth about what happened with Toki and why she had to run away, all that stuff. But it has to correlate with Wano stuff, not like One Piece Void Sentry. I think it'll be the closest we ever get to the Void Sentry until we see it through Robin's eyes. But I do believe that it is possible now that we could get a couple panels, maybe even a page of Zunisha and Joy Boy in the past. I do believe that is a genuine possibility that can happen in the next couple chapters. Latex. Okay, latex is the sap from a rubber tree. Also, like that y'all being serious about the latex thing? That's very interesting. So latex is the sap from a rubber tree. In the last panel of this chapter, something was covering Luffy like he's changing into something. 100%. He really is. He's transforming into something. We don't know what. It looks like it's burning or like a substance that like it's like a little slime. It looks. I can't tell. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell. It's just very weird. It does look like it's like going into fire. I don't know. Oda about to drop. Omar says Oda about to drop something he's been waiting to do for 25 years. You are spitting facts, Omar. That's what makes it so exciting. So we look back at the beginning of the series, like, yo, this is something he's been building up for all these years. Extremely excited. He even told us in the Jump Festa comment, be ready. Be ready for what's coming. And the fact this is here, it's like, you know he's had this cooking in the kitchen and has been waiting to showcase this. Like, oh, I'm so excited, yo. Recon, what if the drum effect is actually in a similar pattern in the Overtaken OST? Imagine that, lads. Imagine that, bro. Dun, 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 dun. Yo, I would love that. This 2-week break is definitely going to hurt M-Sphere. It's definitely going to hurt. Milo Cake says, why can't the rev be next week for the break? We need something to match the hype for this chapter. I was saying this earlier, but I was like, yo, we need to call a mini reverie. Seriously. We need to call for a mini reverie. I don't care if it's 2 of us, 3 of us, 4 of us, 5 of us. I don't care. We got to get together, man. As YouTubers, even if it's on separate channels. Like, seriously. Even if it's like me and Laz over here doing collaboration, Brago and King of Lightning, Jay and Randy, whoever it is, man. Like, I feel like if there's ever been a time for collaborations in our community, it's right now. We gotta discuss this chapter. We need multiple perspectives, multiple possibilities. We need to explore everything. You know what I mean? Like, when you hear the theories, the discussions, the next 2 weeks of being a One Piece fan is gonna be fantastic, man. So if everyone's up for it, I'm down, yo. Let's do a reverie. Seriously. Or like I said, it doesn't have to be a reverie. Let's just do some collabs. Let's just do some collabs. The stretch fruit stretching a person into the form of a giant elephant is a punishment. The stretch fruit stretching a person into the form of a giant elephant is a punishment. That is very interesting fable. I had been thinking about what an awakening could potentially be with a fruit like that. You know, of course, the environment, yes. But if the Gomu Gomu no Mi's thing would have to be able to put other things in that way too. That's a very interesting thought. That's a very interesting thought, Fable. Seriously, that really is a very interesting thought. Like, in regards to, like, awakening, right? Chapter was so at the last pages, yo, Nicholas Kaito, I still can't believe it. I still can't believe it. You know what I mean? Like, this is truly one of the craziest chapters ever. Yo, SJC, what's good, my brother? I thought 2019 was the year for One Piece, then came 2020, then 2021. I was like, yo, facts has it. It's like every year has just this is the year for One Piece. This is the year for One Piece. This is the year, but right now we're really living into something special, man. Like it's been so much fun. Like last year was a blast. Like I've been a part of some great years since I've been caught up to the series. Great years. But the last couple of years have been just a blast, man. And it's because we're seeing things. Like this week's chapter for me is like the Roger Laugh-Tale chapter, and like how chapter 1000 was and 1010, where even though they're all very different chapters, they have a very similar thing in regards to this is something I've been wanting to see for so many years. I've always wanted to see Roger and Whitebeard clash. I've always wanted to see Roger fighting the One Piece. I've always wanted to see Luffy standing toe-to-toe with an emperor. I've always wanted to see Luffy and Zoro as the world's strongest swordsman being the right-hand man to the Pirate King, throwing down and showing their names out in the world and showing exactly who they are. Finding out stuff about the Void Century. And of course, Joy Boy. And so to get that in this week's chapter, it's like within this arc, in the last couple of years, we've gotten so many things that we've been waiting the entire series to see. And it's special, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. No, Fable got spoiled in this chapter. Nah, Fable, I'm so sorry to hear that, man. Like this is the one chapter I would never want anyone to get spoiled on. And I know a bunch of people got spoiled based on what y'all were saying earlier. And I feel so bad for everyone who got spoiled. Like, I'm really, really grateful for the individuals that reached out and told me to get out of social media. Because this would have sucked getting spoiled in this chapter. So I'm so sorry for you, Fable, yo. Yo, Goat Luffy 97, truly, me too. I read this chapter a little over like 4 hours ago at this point, over 2 separate streams, and I still can't believe what I read. I still can't believe what I read, yo. This was peak. This was insane. This was insane. Yo, Xanarkin, what's good, yo? P3, what's good, yo? It's good to see y'all. Kaido knocked Luffy into the Avatar state. Cash comes in with the 279 Canadian and says, Red-haired pirates and CP0 have any relation? CP9 Part 2. Red-haired pirates and CP0 have any relation? So are we talking about relation in terms of throwing hands, or like them being correlated in like their mission and whatnot? I think in terms of their relation, of course, they both have interest in, I'm going to assume, information based on what Shanks knows. And not only that, they both have an interest right now in the Gomu Gomu no Mi, especially based on how Shanks bet everything on it. If he knew exactly, I'm going to assume after this chapter he had to have known what the Gomu Gomu no Mi was truly capable of, and what it really was. And so when he was carrying it that day and Luffy ate it, he had to bet his everything on the next generation. He's like, I can leave it in your hands. And so in that regard, they're both technically like kind of like over, but CP0, they don't really know. They just know that it got stolen, right? So, and they were trying to protect it. So in that regard, it's like they're both related in terms of being protectors of this thing. So it would be interesting to see it in that regard. But in regards to the like, in the way that they're related, I'm just, the chapter has me so like, has my mind just so boggled that if Shanks and CP9 or CP0 also have a connection, like if the person from this week's chapter is directly connected to Shanks and the Red-haired pirates, it'd just be like, holy flagnars. It'd be crazy. One Piece 1043 is trending again? Yo, as it should. As it should. One Piece greatness, absolutely. If we get Joy Boy pulling a Kaneki next chapter, good night Luffy. Goodness. Can you imagine that? She had Dale. She just get a massive like Kaneki Jason moment. That'd be hype. That'd be crazy. Oh, I'm praying Luffy will be aware of whatever happens next. Me too, Omar. Me too. Me too. Can you imagine Luffy with white hair? He'll look too nasty, dog. That's my goat. He'll look too nasty. If we get the Yamato speech in any other chapter, that'll be the talking point. That last page is what everybody's talking about. That is facts, Milo. The fact that Yamato speech was so incredible, it's not being talked about, that shows the greatness, how legendary this chapter was. Yo, Fable! Coming in with the 20! Nothing else. Thank you so much for that, dog. Truly appreciate you. That 20 is for how legendary this chapter was. 20 out of 10. Thank you so much, y'all. Truly appreciate you, Fable. Jobo says Luffy's from reminding me of a Sour Patch Kid. Oh, watch out. Watch out, Zetter Kid. Enstrier says, one thing I keep considering, Wano is so ridiculous that in hindsight, I don't know how Oda can top this. I don't either, man. Like, I know he's been so excited to draw the final arc. I know that the final arc is going to be absolutely bananas and bonkers. But Wano's just been so crazy. But you know what's crazy? Wano has been nuts. And when you really think about it, Wano has been payoff and setup, right? Like, it's been paying off a lot of stuff that's been, you know, built up from the entirety of the time skip until this point. But it's been setting up a lot of endgame stuff, man. So it's like all that payoff from the entire series, the Reverie stuff, all of that is going to be paid off at the end, man. And that's where I think he's gonna surpass Wano. You know what I mean? Like, that final arc is gonna literally turn the world upside down, the One Piece world and our world. Like, you know, me and Adrian were talking about this the other day. But, excuse me, it's right now, it's this exciting and it's this insane to be a fan. Excuse me, and we're still setting this stuff up. Imagine when stuff starts getting paid off. Imagine when we start seeing what the One Piece is. When we get to Laugh Tale. When we see the voice entry, it's the Will of D. Luffy vs. Blackbeard. It's the Messenger-sama coming in, Dragon. Flashbacks. Luffy's mother. All that stuff. Things we've always wanted to see. When that starts taking place, it's gonna be like, brother. Man. Yamagoat. Facts, Hazzy. Facts. Shout out to Yamato for cutting a GOAT promo this week. That promo was awesome. It was awesome. Yo, Eric, my boy. Shout out to the Red Force podcast, man. Shout out to my boys. Going forward from Wano, everything will just snowball 100%. Oda's not letting off the gas in any major way anymore. Not until the end of the series. We're gonna keep going, and it's gonna be insane. It's going to be insane from here on out. Like, it's going to be so much fun. Wait, I just realized Zunisha and Luffy had blacked out eyes, and then Zunisha's eyes glowed. Luffy's eyes get covered by his real fruit. So, Milo Kick, we've talked about this earlier. I think it was in the reaction stream. Which, by the way, for everybody who's here, who wants to watch the reaction, this is not the reaction stream, this is the Afterthought stream. My original reaction stream got cut off by the Godosei. I don't remember who it was that said something, but it just lost me so and put me so off in Flagnardville that lost my mind, and then the internet went out. And then I said, I'm not going to sleep tonight until I talk about this chapter again. And so we've been streaming for like 5 hours technically between like the old stream and this one. So if you want to watch the reaction, it's on the other video. It's on the channel. Hopefully it's up on the channel now. And then, but yeah, we talked about a lot of stuff over there too. But in regards to the blacked out eyes, it's so interesting to me that Oda specifically showed Luffy's eyes like that and then showed Zunisha's eyes right after that. It's like, yo, there's a correlation there, you know what I mean? So I do wonder if remember how Momonosuke was able to look out of Zunisha's eyes to see Jack? I wonder if now we're gonna see something like that here, but with Luffy, and seeing stuff from his perspective. Where like Zunisha looks through Luffy's perspective, or something around those lines, because we see the Voices of All Things is capable of doing stuff like that. So very interesting. Yo, Rio and Riley, I truly appreciate you for that comment. Your videos are an essential part of my One Piece experience. QFF7 victory theme. Well, first and foremost, FF7 victory theme is legendary. That's actually my one of my like when somebody sends me an email, that's what I get. So shout out to the F7 victory theme. And I appreciate you. You guys are a part of my One Piece experience. I can tell y'all, when I took that break because I was really sick, it was the longest break I ever took. During the Odin flashback, right after the Roger stuff, I didn't read One Piece from. It was like chapter 968. It's like 972. It was a couple weeks, a month or two where I didn't read any One Piece. And I refused to read it without you guys because it just, not only would it not feel the same, but at this point, I remember Maximilian Dude made a video on this, and it was so true. Even though it's for video games, it's the same thing for us here as reactors and as people who create content for anime and manga. Once you're doing something for so long, like I remember Max was talking about how he's been playing games on stream for so long. When he doesn't play on stream, it just doesn't feel the same. I feel the same thing when it comes to One Piece. Like sometimes, even whenever I watch episodes on my own to analyze and to create videos on, it still does not feel the same because I'm not in front of the camera. I've been reading and watching this series on camera for so long that when I'm not doing it, it still feels like I'm on camera. Like sometimes I'll get into a random conversation about One Piece out there, and I'll feel like I'm on camera, and it's thanks to the wonderful experiences I've had with y'all that allow that to be the case, which is why I want to keep doing this for as long as possible. You know what I mean? Is Wano still going to be 5 acts at this point? Act 3 of Wano is going to be longer than the whole of Dressrosa. Facts. Facts, but I'll take it. I love Act 3. I'll take it. But I don't know, you're absolutely right. Like we talked about that last week, of course, with the possibility of Act 3 ending. Still a possibility, honestly, but at this point with this week, I mean, can you imagine? We're finally going to see Joy Boy or Luffy at this new form, and that's when Oda goes around the world. I would be sick. I'd be hyped, but I'd be sick. Like, yo, are we serious? Recon, I might get on your nerves, but since we have a break and a lot of time, will you watch Ranking of Kings as a One Piece lover? It's definitely the series I want to watch the most. I'm still currently really obsessed with Elden Ring, so I can't I can't like 100% guarantee I'll be watching Ranking of Kings, but I do 100% want to get into the series. Like I'm gonna watch it, no doubt. I'm gonna watch it without question. I just don't know when. Yes, Joshua Brillantes. This is just like when Gear 4th was revealed. Crazy. Yo, Hazy, bring up the facts. Don't forget to like the stream. Most certainly. Oh, how do you feel? Gamer Nebula, I feel like 100 million like the sun, dude. I feel like Nika right now because this week's chapter was so special that my mind is just broken. Like I'm about to end this stream here in a bit, and I know I'm gonna sit down on that bed, and it's gonna be that One Piece meme, or not that One Piece meme, that meme of like when the guy and the girl are in bed, and he's like, "Oh, what's he thinking about?" And it's like, whatever the meme is, that's gonna be me, man. I can promise you that. I'm gonna be in that bed, and my brain is just gonna be on Nika, Joy Boy, loot, all this stuff, man. So I don't know what I'm gonna do this weekend. I honestly don't. I'm gonna keep talking about this chapter. The next 2 weeks we're spending talking about this chapter. So what I think I'm gonna do is, just like for last chapter, I do want to do another Afterthoughts. Though I don't know, because I feel like this week we talked about all of this. I know the next. So I think the next Afterthoughts, rather than just being me, I gotta think about this because I still feel like. So keep an eye on the channel. Keep it on the channel for this upcoming weekend. We're going to be talking about this chapter. Like I said, I do want to talk with my fellow YouTubers. I know Laz already gave me the okay. He's cool with it, so I'll try to learn how to record other people's audio over this weekend. Challenging myself in that regard, and then we'll get together. We'll talk about that and see if anybody else wants to join us. And we'll talk about this chapter, whether it be on Sunday night or on Monday, depending on everybody's schedule. And then we'll do that. But when I tell y'all, 100% expect a stream next Friday, where there would normally be a One Piece chapter reaction. Expect a stream next Friday to continue talking about this craziness. And then with the anime being indefinitely delayed for right now, hopefully we'll get some more news on all that stuff. But for right now, hoping for nothing but the best over there when it comes to the anime and the animators over there. Hopefully we can get some news soon on whether like some stuff was erased or whatever that is, rescheduling wise and whatnot. So I'm hoping for the best in that regard. I really hope the damage wasn't too bad and that things can get back to normal soon. But it's going to be a crazy 2 weeks for us as One Piece fans because we're going to be stuck in limbo for the anime. And the manga left us on the biggest cliffhanger potentially that the series has given us up until this point. So it's like, holy flagnards, man. The smiling Luffy panel. Seriously, Milo Click. Like, seriously. I'm dreaming of the smiling Luffy panel. And whatever the flagnards was encompassing him at that point in time. Goodness. And then we're getting a Shanks movie this year, like DJ just said. A Shanks movie. Goodness. Alright, so I'll answer Hazi's question right here. And then we're going to wrap this up, y'all. And then we'll be back later on this weekend for some more greatness. Holy flagnards, man. So Hazi says, yo, Coach, what are your thoughts on the recent live-action cast reveal? So I saw that. I think they all looked great, man. I'm loving the vibe that we're getting from all the cast members up until this point. I really can't wait to see like a trailer specifically for. I just want to see like what they all look like in costume and what they're like all acting like and whatnot. So probably not going to get that for a while because I'm going to assume since all these characters were recently casted, I don't even know if they've acted or anything, right? So definitely looking forward to seeing all of that in action. It's just I can't wait for it, man. Whatever they have in store for that, like it's gonna be great. But I like it. I like the casting that we saw for like for Kobe and Alvida and whatnot. So those looked great. Garbs was awesome. Man, Nika, Joy Boy. This chapter was special, man. This was a once-in-a-lifetime chapter, man. And I'm so glad I was able to be a part of it with you guys tonight. It's 2:30 a.m. It must be super early for some of y'all. I don't care. This chapter deserved it. This was a really special experience. One that all of us will probably never forget. I'm just so glad. Once again, I'm thankful to everybody who kept in touch with me, told me not to get spoiled. Because, man, this was great. For everyone who's going to be like me, thinking about this chapter, yo, this is nuts, man. Like, my mind is just so blown right now, dude. And all I have is, like, Nash Schneider put right here. Just blessed to be born in the right timeline, man. Seriously. Blessed to be born in the right timeline. What an amazing chapter. Once again, if all of you want some more, so it's already a 2-hour thing, and you did not watch the reaction will be up. Or maybe it already is up. That we recorded before my stream died. And I will see y'all next time, man. One of the craziest chapters, if not the craziest chapter in the series up until this point. I have no idea what's going to happen. But that's what these next 2 weeks will be for. Discussing, theorizing on what's going to happen now with Joy Boy, Nika, Luffy, the Fruits, the Straw Hat. What's happening here, man? What's happening here? But yeah, same here. Falapuizi. I'm gonna be sleepless. Thank you, Hazy, for linking it. Y'all have a nice one. Thank y'all so much for the support over the 2 streams. When it comes to new members, a lot of new members, and the super chats. Love y'all. Anybody who watched the streams, liked the streams, trust me, I really, really appreciate it, man. So, God bless. Y'all have a great night. Peace out. We experienced some peak fiction tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget that, man. We were a part of a legendary